The biggest Chiefs news of it all is basically the bombshell announcement that dropped over the weekend was made official as Chris Jones signed his 5-year deal worth up to $158.75 million and includes $95 million in guarantees. The Chiefs announced that Chris Jones was in today to get the deal officially signed, showed some pictures, a video of him talking, and this was first announced by Chris's agents on Saturday night. Basically that Chris Jones was going to become the highest paid defensive tackle when they cooked up this very, very, very nice graphic of money raining down the words highest paid DT on it. And my favorite part of it all is they added a $sign on the S of the word highest. I hope they paid their graphic designer big money for that one. All jokes aside, even though this was really corny, a deal is done and Chris Jones will not play for another franchise the rest of his career just like he's always wanted. Now, when this was initially announced over the weekend, there wasn't yet full clarity on the details other than it was a 5-year deal with $95 million in guarantees, but now we know it's $158.75 million over 5 years, which is an average of $31.75 million per year, just higher than Aaron Donald, who's making $31.6 million a year. This officially makes Chris Jones the highest paid defensive tackle in the NFL. In fact, the 5-year deal actually looks pretty similar to Aaron Donald's deal, especially if you look at the guarantees and the first 3 years of Donald's deal. For Donald, he got a reworked deal on his 3-year contract that was already there that guaranteed $65 million over the 2022 and 2023 seasons, with the contract structured to allow him to retire or return in 2024 for an additional guaranteed $30 million. $65 million plus $30 million, $95 million. That's what Chris Jones got. Joshua Briscoe lays this all out in his article about this, comparing the Donald deal to Jones's with the exception of Chris being a year younger. So it all happens 1 year earlier for him. And then for Chris Jones, the first 2 years of his deal, 2024 and 2025, are fully guaranteed at signing, which is pretty incredible when you really think about it for a non-quarterback. Then the 2026 money for him vests as guaranteed in March of 2025. And there was initially confusion about this, but that money for Chris Jones is guaranteed. It's just set up in a way that Chiefs owner Clark Hunt doesn't have to put all that guaranteed money in escrow yet, all that cash in escrow yet. He will have to do some now and some later, which helps with spreading the cash out over time. It's also worth noting that Chris's cap hit this year is very minimal, only $7.35 million, because most of it is a signing bonus for 2024. However, after that, his cap hits are as follows: $34.8 million in 2025, $41.1 million in 2026, $34.35 million in 2027, and $41.1 million in 2028. Good God, that is a lot of money. But those cap hits won't necessarily be that large each year. Restructures can happen, and KC won't necessarily be on the hook for all that money, with the real out for the Chiefs being in 2027. According to a Substack piece by Chris Clark of Chiefs Corner, Jones would cost $15 million to cut in 2027. A pre-June 1st cut would save $15 million in 2027. A post-June 1st cut would be $6 million each for 2027 and 2028, and a $3 million guarantee would kick in the third day of the 2026 league year. A link to Chris's Substack is in the comments. Make sure to check it out, subscribe, support him for more solid and very smart analytical Chiefs content that I myself am unable to provide. So for the next few years, the Chiefs took a huge swing to lock up the best DT in the game that is kind of positionless at the end of the day, because he can not only play inside but can kick outside, and that is extremely valuable. That's why Brett Veach said today that, quote, Chris is a future Pro Football Hall of Famer and, in our opinion, the best defensive tackle in the National Football League. He earned every bit of this record-breaking contract. Over the last 8 years, he's been critical to our success, including his significant impact in all 3 Super Bowl championship runs. And per usual, not everybody in the kingdom is happy about this big Chris Jones signing. Some think that the Chiefs caved and gave Chris Jones way too much money at the end of the day, and basically are screaming holy overpay considering his age and how much is guaranteed to him, especially when he's turning 31 and 32 years old. The problem is Chris Jones was going to get even more than that in free agency, potentially even going to the Raiders, which would have been disgusting, but is also about impossible to replace in the Chiefs defense. Trey Wingo sums it up nicely when he said the Chiefs certainly paid the right guy because a shutdown corner eliminates one wide receiver, but an elite pass rusher eliminates all of them. That being said, you guys got to let me know your thoughts on the Chris Jones signing. Do you think they overpaid, or are you happy with the signing by keeping one of the most important players around for the three-peat, even though it is a bit of a financial risk at the end of the day? Let me know either way in the comments down below.